by a long shot.
I could definitely see that with Andre. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, without a doubt. Yes.
And that's a great energy that I truly cherish and value. Um, and I consider him my brother from another mother, right? He's very good at sales and all of the sales vision. His knowledge around telecom is orders of magnitude much bigger than mine. And I would like to think that what I bring to the table is hopefully how to build and scale businesses um, in a way that is aligned with what we want to build, right? For example, Cellnet was not built to be a super fast growth company that takes a bunch of VC money and runs with the negative for a long time, just taking market share. It was built with the purpose in mind of doing what we like to do, being able to be customer obsessed without having to respond to certain type of stakeholders, right? And also eventually reaching a significant level of profitability as opposed to growth.
I don't tell the details, but you kind of talk about the process of you and Andre, like the conversation. I thought like equity square, like was it 50-50, 51-49? Like, can you talk about those conversations?
Yeah, so Andrew and I are called partners in the business, and then we have a few initial investors that have made also this possible. Um, but very transparently, the round that we raised was minimal, very minimal, because we didn't want to answer to VCs. We didn't want to be pushed for growth and having to answer to people that perhaps had different vision or interest than we did, right? And so the investors that we had, uh, first of all, they are aligned with us in what we want to build. They are very aligned also from a people perspective. Um, and also, as I said, the amount that we raised was minimal. So pretty much, just to give you an idea, instead of having to have a credit line at a bank, we just raised enough money that could serve as a credit line and not have any interest attached to it.
So you brought up a good point. Like you said, you fired some clients, right? I think a lot of founders they make the mistake of not firing clients when they need to, right? Can you talk about the process, like deciding when to fire a client and that's how that goes about?
Yeah, so if someone has completely unrealistic expectations, so say for example that you do provide a service that you guarantee, I don't know, that person is gonna get 5 podcasts per month, right? That's your service, for example. And then that person says, well, no, Jason, like I want 10 podcasts per month. You say, well, we would need some sort of something to change so I can able to provide you with 10 podcasts per month, right? Say, no, I'm not willing to change anything. As a matter of fact, you just should be able to deliver 10 podcasts per month because I say so. That is completely unrealistic. I mean, it's out of whack, right? Something needs to change for you to be able to provide double than what you initially agreed, right? So it means that the customer expectations are not in line, and then if they're not nice about it, on top of that, it makes it a relationship that is perhaps not worth your time, right? Is not You're not providing value both ways, right? Another one is when a customer becomes a very heavy weight into you running your business, right? So they start micromanaging you, they start telling you everything that you need to do and how you need to do it, and you pretty much end up working for them the way that they want, dedicating to them 90+% of your time. That's also probably not, a customer that is worth having, right? I think the ideal relationship is where you craft a win-win situation whereby the customer is super excited, is getting all of the value that they want and more than than what they expected, right? But you also, as the company that is providing that value, you enjoy working with that customer, and it's a fun, professional, amicable, and nice relationship, right? It goes back to what we said of working with good people.
So you're a founder and you're an investor, right? Do you find these two roles like conflict with each other or they complement each other?
I think they're very complementary because once you're, is what we, this goes back to your earlier point where if you invest after you have been a founder, you have that level of empathy that you can put yourselves in the shoes of the founder, right? As opposed as if you, for whatever reason, you just have a bunch of money to deploy somewhere and you have never been in the shoes of the person that you're dealing with, you cannot see their perspective as accurately, right?
So what does Soundnet do?
Soundnet is a technology services distributor, or as we like to call it, thanks to our director of sales, technology solutions distributor. So basically, we have contractual relationships with more than 300 plus companies, including most of the publicly traded companies that you already know, and we distribute their services, right? So let's say, for example, that you have any sort of IT or telecom need, anything. It can be cloud, it can be expense management, it can be AI, any type of need. You get to use us as a free IT resource. So our architects and analysts would work for you at no cost, right? Gather your requirements and say, okay, Jason, so let's say that you need a new network redesign. We're going to do your network redesign. We're not going to charge you. You're going to say, what? We're not going to charge me? We're not going to charge you. But then we're going to present you with 5 options of who can execute your network redesign. So maybe one option is Lumen, another option is AT&T, another option is AirSpring, another option is Verizon. And we will present you with the pros and cons of each, right? And we have the same contractual relationship with all of them. So we don't care who you choose because we're already taken care of.
So like if they pick one, your commissions or fees higher than the other ones, all the pretty much the same fee. And so how did you build so many relationships in such a amount of time? A 300 relationship over 2 years, that's a lot, right? How did that come about?
Well, so Andre built this for the course of 10 years.
Okay, so stuff he did previously, okay.
Yeah, and
he's a godfather of telecom, like you said.
and really, we don't have 300 plus. We just say 300 plus not to scare people. I think one of our architects did a rough recent count of the database recently. I think we have surpassed 1,300 already.
And like, how do I ask this next question? Are there any of these firms like that do more business with you based on any criteria, or is like, are you just like business evenly spread across all these thousands of partners?
Well, yes. So there's some of them that are leading the way in their particular thing, right? So, for example, there are certain firms that they're super strong in implementing AI in the enterprise, and we know that they're 10 times stronger than some others that also try to implement AI in the enterprise. So we have an opportunity to implement AI on an enterprise. We're going to lead with the ones that we know are having the most success on that particular area, right?
So it's like with all these partners, it would be kind of hard to be like do like an ICP or perfect customer, right? But so do you have like a perfect customer or ICP, or you don't?
No, like our biggest account to date is a publicly traded company in the New York Stock Exchange with $88 billion in revenue. And our smallest account to date is a local restaurant with about 3 restaurants. And then we have anywhere in between. And we take the utmost care of all of them, regardless of size. Because one of our mantras is that there's no deal that is too small, too medium, or too large. And we will treat all of them the same.
Like how did you get all your customers? I guess word of mouth. Are you relying on the Godfather Andre to bring in customers? How did that come about?
Well, the way that we really started, it was Andre and I spent probably 4 hours going through our LinkedIn, looking at every single connection that we had, with the mindset of who can we help in their IT or telecom. and then try to get some time with them and asking them what are your top 3 pain points in your IT or telecom stack, or what are your top 3 initiatives for this year. And if what they replied fell in line with something that we could help, we tried to provide value. That's how we started most of our pipeline. And then obviously, beyond that, for scalability, you need systems that provide pipeline generation. Relationships are great, but they're not infinitely scalable.
So let's suppose a company comes to you for whatever, and you recommend to them to, like, we'll say ABC company, right? And 3 months later, that client comes, hey, ABC company's totally messed us up, right? What happens then? Do you give them a refund? Do you go to the ABC company, hey, ABC company, this client's not happy with you? How's that process work?
So we don't carry the paper. So the customer directly contracts with whatever provider they want. Our job, you can think about it as when you need insurance, the job of an insurance broker. We just provide you with all of the different options and tell you what are the pros and cons of each.